Coming up on this season preview, me and Jev sit down and we go through the Richmond Tigers. Now, the Tigers surprised us last year. Their line was 2.5. Me and Jev said that they were going to go under. Now, they won the 5 games last year, so me and Jev give them a little bit more confidence coming into this season. If you are a Tigers fan, send it to someone else who is a Tigers fan. We want to know whether you think our opinion on them is right or wrong coming into the 2026 season. It's a great episode. You guys know where to find us. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, at 100K Sports. We cannot wait to keep going with these. The season is so close, so enjoy the episode, and we can't wait for your feedback. All right, we are back with another season preview as we count down to the 2026 AFL season. As always, powered by PointsBet and StatMate. Jev, we have a barn burner today. I believe in the last episode that we just got released was the Swans and the Saints. We're both pretty up and about, both pretty optimistic. I'm not sure if we're still going to be super optimistic. I'm excited to see what you've done. Jev, how are you?
Good, Das, good. Yeah, I had a look at the Tigers. It was tough. I just don't know. I had to text some Tigers supporters about it because I don't know what they're expecting. Like, it is so hard going into expectations. Last year, everyone just expected they're going to play the kids, finish bottom of the ladder, this and that, and they were so much better than everyone expected. So then it's like, well, what do you expect this year? So, I answer a lot of those questions. I'm going to ask you a lot of those questions, or anyone listening to send us a DM or a comment on YouTube when we get there.
Let's start off with the Tigers. What is it about their list? Do you like it? Don't you like it? Are you optimistic? Talk to us.
So just before we crack into the list, so the Tigers won 5 games last year. They beat Carlton, Gold Coast, West Coast twice, and the Bombers. They had GWS in Sydney beaten as well, and they just lost that in the last quarter. I don't even remember that game, Das. 4:40 on a Saturday. They were up by like 28 points at three-quarter time, just couldn't hold on.
Yeah.
Their over-under before the season was 2.5. And I know you and me tipped the under, and so did all of Australia. And they won 5 games, so they were great last year. So when I looked at their list, so I find their list hard to do because I have them as 0 competition A graders. But saying that, I don't want to disrespect how good Toby Nankervis and Nick Voston are. Like, they are the definition of position A graders. They are so good. They were great when they were great, and they were great when they were bad last year. So, like, I love Nankervis. He's probably not a comp A grader. He's probably just a position A grader. Like, he's probably, as I say, he's probably from the 7th to 10th best ruckman. Vlaston was probably the best back pocket in the league last year. He was stiffed not to be All-Australian. Same as Nathan Broad. He's awesome. He has the hardest job in football on an average team. He just rocks up, busts his ass. He plays on guys like Jeremy Cameron and then, like, Nick Watson. Like, he has a hard role in this league. I want to give love to Ben Miller. He had a fantastic season at fullback last year. Tim Taranto and Dion Prestia. These two are different in the fact Tim Taranto, you can nearly write his game script every week, Das. 27 touches, a goal or a shot on goal, 5 to 6 clearances, a few butchered kicks. The guy you get week in and week out is so consistent, so reliable. We love Tim Taranto. I love watching him. And then Dion Prestia, we don't see him as much, but when we do, he always plays well. He's great to watch. But I want to talk about the Richmond Young Guns, and I'm going to rate them 1 to 10. And it's a rich tapestry of rating them, Das. What they've already proven, what I think they can be, how high their ceiling is, what they might look like. So they took Sam Cumming and Sam Grill in this draft last year. I've never seen a last name like Grill. Grlj. I don't know how that says Grill, but I'm not going to rate those two because we haven't seen them yet. Cummings, they're hopeful to get a gun midfielder out of him, like just one of those midfielder and juniors, get him in the building. He's obviously got talent. And then Grill, what I found on the internet is he's lightning quick game breaker, and his comparisons are Zach Butters and Nick Dacos. So just one of those like sort of shorter in stature but powerful, lightning quick midfielders. I just don't know if you should have comparisons of Dacos and Butters, but let's hope in his first year, let's hope he can be like Colby McKercher does. Like, I'm sure Richmond fans would be, if they can get like a Colby McKercher, like small, fast, beautiful kick, off half back, and they can build from there. But I wouldn't say the Dacos and Butters name, but what do I know? So play him off wing, off half back, maximise his leg speed. I'm going to go ahead and say he won't have as good a first year as Nick Dacos did. So
probably not.
Probably not. So then the draft before. So I'm going to rate him out of 10. Sam Laylor, I'm going to give a 9 out of 10. Young Dusty, been given the number 4. Looks like he's got a relationship with Dusty. Showed all the signs of what you want to see from a number 1 pick. Just can't be doing hammies. Want to see him for 20-plus games this year. No hammies. Just play every week. Show you probably going to be... Hopefully he shows he's got the future captain written all over him. Get even better again. So Sam Laylor, I'm going to give a 9 out of 10. Josh Smiley, I'm going to give a 2 out of 10. Looks like a bust, or looking bustish, I wrote here. We have extremely good sourcing that he isn't a great professional. He kept doing his hammy because he was overweight. Then they changed his running technique to stop him doing hammies, and he did his quad. So they put him in the fat club without telling him he was in fat club because they didn't want to hurt an 18-year-old feelings. And he just had to do all this extra work. But they didn't want to hurt his feelings. And apparently they were just filthy. They didn't get Harvey Langford in the draft, and he went the pick before Smiley. They really wanted Langford. They got Smiley. He wasn't professional. He kept doing hammies. He kept doing quads. He was a bit overweight. They had him in fat club. Didn't tell him he was in fat club. He's not that professional. So I hope he proves me wrong. That's just my opinion and sourcing, but I hope we see him this year and he plays well, but he's got to get on the park, Dust. He's got to get through a preseason. He's got to show he wants to be an AFL footballer and a professional, because like the Harley Reid, where he had the best first year ever, then he had an unprofessional off-season, then he got going, and now this year he's clicked. Josh Smiley did that without even playing a game, Dust. So, what are we going to see this year? Taj Houghton, I'm going to give an 8 out of 10. Apparently this kid is the one. I played at my local footy club with a guy that played at Sandy Dragons with Taj. Said he was the most talented and the best player at Sandy Dragons by an absolute mile. Said he was pick 1 talent before he did his ACL, like a freak. I think the way to think of it is like becoming Robbie Gray, like can be a 40-plus goal small forward or a super clean, crafty midfielder. They rant rave. They reckon getting him at 12 is going to be a steal. You can still back him to win Rising Stardust. He's paying $23 on PointsBet. I think this is a must bet. This could be one of those ones. If he plays round 1 and like the hype is real, it could be $4 by round 4. If he has an uninterrupted preseason, plays every game, like apparently this kid's just the one. Jonty Fual, so I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. Played 16 games as an 18-year-old, 195-centimetre key forward in a bad side. So I'm not going to judge him sort of either way. The more footy he plays, the better. He definitely showed something, like to just keep getting picked, playing. He's competitive. I know Richmond supporters like him. He only kicked 9 goals. He kicked 1 bag of 2 goals. Would love to see by the end of this year, he plays 20 games and he kicks 25 goals. Luke Trainer, I'm going to give 6.5 out of 10. Trainer, to me, feels like he's going to play 250 games at the Tigers, never make an All-Australian, never sell out his jerseys in the jersey store, never win a club B&F, but is the first magnet picked every week. I like him. We saw him up close round 1. I remember it like it was yesterday. We were sitting right on the fence, and he was taking kick-outs within the first quarter right in front of us. So they obviously like him. They trust him. He can obviously play, but it's one of those guys, he's probably a low ceiling, high floor. He's just going to be one of those middle players. There's a lot of guys like that in the league that play a lot of games of footy. And then Harry Armstrong, I'm going to go 5 out of 10. Again, 18-year-old, 195-centimetre key forward, played 8 games, kicked 6 goals. So I texted a mad Richmond supporter, mate of mine, about Armstrong and Fual. He thinks Fual is miles and miles better than Harry Armstrong. He said Fual is a centre forward who's super competitive, crashes packs, super physical for a young player, and just loves it, loves the contest, everything you want in a young forward. And so that gives me hope that he's going to play a lot of games this year. Bringing to Armstrong's trying to be a bit of a lead-up, skillful Jack Gunston type forward, and has a long, long way to go. So like you can't even compare the two. So he's like Fual, we absolutely love. He's like Lawler, Houghton, Fual, we love. Trainer's going to be that guy. Smiley's looking like a bust, and Armstrong, we want to see something this year. So that is their last year draft. Yeah, is anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, Jonty Fall or Fall. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce his name. I read it as Fall, but I've got no fucking idea. Watched him play a couple times last year. He's got very good mitts. Very good mitts up forward. He just needs a bit of a tan, I reckon, old Jonty. He's a bit see-through. So if we can get him a tan, I reckon he'll look a little bit better out there.
Bit of gym.
You got him, you got Smiley, and you got Armstrong, Jev. They're all 195 centimetres.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
Again, yeah, Smiley was predicted potentially pick 1 at the start of his draft. Didn't have the best draft year, went down the order. And as you said, the Tigers end up nabbing him up at 7 when we all thought at the start, well, maybe they've got the steal of the draft because he was going to be a potential 1. Again, it's not like he's a midfielder. Yes, he's got to get his body right, but he's also going to have to get some more experience and maybe go back and play some twos footy. But we all know these key position players take a little bit more time. But when you look at what the Tigers stocks have, and look, some of the still the old heads at the club, like they've got Broad, Lynch is still there. There's some pretty good guys to learn off in the club. So hopefully they can teach him to, if he isn't as professional, Tom Lynch, how he can be a little bit of a hothead, like, hey, come on, boys, if you've only got 2 or 3 years on your rookie contract or you're going to get chewed up and spit out, then you're just playing local footy for the rest of your life. So, yeah, I think they've still got some good experienced players in the club to try and lead them forward. But, yeah, when you look at the talent, and Taj Houghton, we were waiting to watch him play, came out and kicked a goal in his first game, and we're just like, holy fuck, this kid could be an absolute rock star. And then they've got some good medium aged players as well running through. But, yeah, they're very young, which sort of leads me to the next bit. Where do you think, how do you rate the coach and the captain? I know at the start, the coach, the oralist coach in Uze. So how are we feeling after last season?
Well, I love Nank. Nank's only our aged ass. He's 31. I could have sworn... Hey?
Is he?
Yeah, he's 31. I could have sworn he was like 38. He's only 31. Yeah. So then, I love Nank. He's holding the fort to someone. I reckon someone this year is going to emerge as like the next Tiger captain, and Nank will be happy to give it to him, but he's the perfect guy to hold the fort for him. And then I was completely wrong on Adam Uze. Thought he was a lemon, had sourcing out of Melbourne that they were happy to see him gone, happy to see the back of him. He had a great year last year. Is there a year Richmond can have that will put Adam Uze under pressure? So as I said, they won 5 games, finished 17th. Were way better than everyone expected. If they were to only win, say, 3 games next year, would he be on a hot seat, or you reckon he's relatively safe?
Well, if he went down under 3 wins, there would always be chatter. They'll be like, you can't be regressing. You've got all these kids in another season, like what's happened. So, I think the criticism will only come from if there's no injuries. Like, if there's injuries again, then it's sort of like, well, he's playing with his hands tied behind his back. Yeah. But if there's no injuries and they continue to lose, 100% there'll be pressure.
Yeah, it's hard. So when you look at the list and you look at Tom Lynch and stuff, and you're like, they have the ceiling with the older players they got that they could win 10 games this year. But then when these guys start retiring, are they going to get stuck on winning 7 games a year until they explode? Like, I don't know what I always say, like, Essendon's list doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what the 7 years is going to look like, but if Armstrong and Fawal are as good as that, like, if Fawal's as good as he looked last year, maybe it's quick. Like, Tom Lynch retires, no worries. We've got Fawal ready to go. He's just as good as old Tom Lynch. So, can it get to 10 wins this year, and then we start seeing the back of Nank and Tom Lynch and, I don't know, a couple other guys, and then you're like, oh, they start going backwards again. I don't know what to expect from the Tigers. I just know they want to see their young guys play every single week. All of them. All 10 of their 18, 19, 20-year-olds, put them on the park every week and sort of figure it out around there.
As far as the game plan, are you expecting a lot more of last year, like get, run and go, try and push sides, especially at home? Like if you've got an interstate side at home, if the Tigers get a sniff, they get loud and all the young players start to run. Like my opinion, I don't think they're probably going to win more than 5 to 6 games, but the floor definitely comes up. They're not getting blown out. Like 40-point, 50-point losses are just not acceptable. Like it's got to be like, I mean, look, you never want to lose a match, but within 15 to 20, those sorts of losses where Carlton have had for years, it's like, oh, there's another 3-goal loss. You don't want them, but you want to see that floor come up and like that. They don't want to get spanked.
If that's the case, if it's a heap of 15, 20-point losses, 70,000 Tigers supporters will start coming back to the G. And when it is 15 points or 20 points, if they kick the first goal of the fourth quarter, they will get loud again early and like they'll build something. Like they'll start getting their fans back and building quickly.
Do you remember those finals? Or it was a couple of games before the finals. I think it was to secure top 4 spots. And that's when Brisbane were finishing on top every year. And they would come face Richmond at the G and just lose their marbles. They just couldn't do it. They just couldn't do it. The Tigers are too loud. And the best thing Richmond could have done last year was win round 1. They had fans all year. They're like, all right, I believe in the kids. So it's the best thing that could have happened for them. And I think that they're going to have that for the remainder of, probably another year or two. They've got a heap of talent. And like the young kids that keep coming through, as long as you can keep the older heads on the park and keep them a little bit more healthy just to sort of shield the firestorm, I suppose. But who do you have in the gun?
So I texted, as I was texting my Richmond supporter mate for this one, he gave me 3 in the gun, Das. So number 1 in the gun is Josh Smiley. Has to prove he's not a bust. Needs to show he wants to be an AFL player. Has to get his body right. Has to get on the park. Sure, everyone agrees with that. Number 2 is Josh Gibkiss. It's put up or shut up with him this year. Has to get his body right. Has to get on the park as well. Everyone, I'll never forget in his debut year under Dimmer, he put him straight on Buddy Franklin and he had an absolute crack that night. Barely seen him since. He wouldn't have played 5 games since. So everyone remembers how good he was going to be. I'm interested to see. He has to get on the park. Richmond supporters will give him this year and then it'll just sort of be like, they'll get over it. And number 3, I think everyone agrees with this. Noah Bolter. He is on a huge contract. Severely let them down last year. He was horrible when he played. And when he didn't, he was at home watching Netflix because he fucked up in the off-season. So he owes them 22 of the hardest fought games of all time he's probably on he might have been on a front-ended contract or he was probably on 1.3 last year, Das, and he could be on 1.2 this year. He owes them. He fucking owes them. So Noah Bolter needs to play 22 weeks and just play good football, just solid, consistent, none of that weird shit football every week. Would you agree with that list, Das?
Yeah, no, I like it. Like the other two, you just want to see the young guys get on the park. But Noah Bolter, when he was playing, he was actually really good. And you're like, fuck, the Tigers have missed him. And you get him and you get Lynch and you get Prestia and you get Broad. You get a few of these senior heads. Like Camden was still serviceable for majority. Tim Taranto's a great player. So... yeah, they just need to just help these kids get along. But, yeah, I don't even know what he signed. I thought it would have been about 800-900 a year. But, yeah, you're probably right. Maybe it was 1.2.
Yeah, I think he's on a pretty big contract.
And then he just...
remember North were going to offer pick 1 for him or someone floated that? Anyway, it's crazy.
No, that's not what you want. Do you have a hot take on the Tigers?
Well, look, the heart isn't in it, but I do have a hot take.
Okay.
Sam Banks will lead the league in metres gained next season. And he's my dark horse All-Australian for the Tigers. He finished 41st in metres gained last year, but he only went to half back with 8 games to go. And apparently he just gets it, takes off, runs, and only knows one way. And that's going forward with the footy, trying to break a line, trying to run and carry and just kick the ball forward. So my hot take is Big Sam Banks will lead the league in metres gained, Das. Can you see that happening?
Bit of a wheel and go. So we'll give him the Luke Morgan Award.
Yeah.
Morgs, when we used to play with him, he would just turn around, have a bounce if he could, and then he'd just sink the slipper in about 60, 70 metres. Just wouldn't even look. He'd just put it down. He's like, fucking Jacko's down there somewhere. Welsh is down there somewhere. I'll just put it on their head. I don't mind that. The Sam Banks Award. Well, what should we call it? Or we can just give it the Morgs Award then. But whoever gets it this year, let's message him personally. Let's give him
gained.
We'll give him a voice note.
It's a good award.
Strength of schedule. What is it? Is it tough? I guess when you look at these sides near the bottom, everything probably looks tough, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But have you picked it apart?
Well, it's bloody tough. It is tough. Oh, so their opening 5 is tough. So they open as usual with Carlton, which I know you'll be nervous about, won't you?
Nah, I'm excited this year. I'm ready.
You will be. You cannot lose that game again.
I'm ready.
Tigers supporters will be so nervous for that game.
So you got Carlton?
Then they have Gold Coast at the G, 1:15 on a Saturday arvo. We're going to that game.
That's a dress rehearsal for the Suns. That's a bad game to get.
Then they have Freo at Optus Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have Port at the MCG.
They'll get them.
And then they have Giants at Gather Round out the Barossa Valley or something. So that has 0 and 5 written all over it. But who knows? Beat Port, beat Carlton. It could be 1 and 4, could be 2 and 3. They get a bit of relief after that, Das. They get North at Marvel. They went 1 and 1 with North last year. They get D's at the G. They'd like to think they're a chance in that game. West Coast in Perth. They beat West Coast twice last year, so they could easily win 2 of those. They play North twice, West Coast twice, Melbourne, Adelaide, St Kilda, and Carlton twice. So out of those 12 games, those 6 teams, if I'm a Tigers supporter, I'd like to think they can win 4 or 5 of those. Like they went 2-0 against West Coast last year, get North once. You can probably beat Melbourne once, try and beat Carlton once, maybe beat St Kilda once. So, yeah, they were way better last year than everyone thought. Why can't they be better again? They obviously get Sydney in Sydney, and they have to go to Adelaide to play Adelaide Oval, and they play the Lions in Hobart. So it's like it's going to be tough. But I want you to guess what you think their line is going to be.
Well, before I say that, the games that you want to circle, the young Tigers, as you said, they're a lot of bachelors games or early games. They're going to relish a few of these prime times. So you got the Blues on a prime time spot.
Yeah.
You've got Melbourne, Anzac Day Eve, and then you've got to have the Dream Time at the G. So those 3 games, I'm assuming that they're going to be underdogs. So they're the ones that we try and take them with the points because they're going to try and get the tails up. Their line, well, last year was 2.5. I reckon they've flipped with West Coast from last year. I'm going to go 4.5.
Yeah, bang on, 4.5. When I look at their schedule, I'm like, maybe 3 or 4. It is 4.5. Yeah. And I understand they won 5 games last year. Like, I know they were better. I understand why it is 4.5. I was thinking, I'm like, they're definitely going to win 2. They're too good not to win 2. They should win 3. And then I look at their schedule, I'm like, there's maybe 4 wins there. And then it's like 4.5. They won 5 last year. They shouldn't go down. I'm leaning the over on the 4.5, Das. They don't have this Noah Bolter controversy of last year. They seem fit and healthy. Like you haven't heard much out of them preseason. I know it's only early and there's a long way to go. What is it? January 12th today. It's a lot to go before they play their first game. A lot of injuries could happen. But if they have a fair squad, few guys on everyone to pick from, I can see them going over, winning 5-6 games again for sure. I think they're going to be better than last year. So,
yeah, I'd go initially. I'd probably go over the 4.5 as well.
Yeah,
I would. I just think if the older guys can only have 1 or 2 more years, and then you got a few more of the younger guys, they played good footy. They played really exciting footy last year. So I'm assuming they're going to be doing the exact same. I've got a lot of teams that are sliding, and again. They beat Carlton. They beat Gold Coast.
Yeah.
They beat Gold Coast. Like, the only thing was different, Gold Coast had a full side in. It was just at Marvel.
Gold Coast will be wrapped that game's at the MCG this year.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Not at Marvel. That will be wrapped.
A few interstates, they've got you guys the last couple of years.
Yeah. We got them at the G. We got them at the G last year, but before that, they had 4 in a row on us.
That's what I mean. So, yeah, initially, I'm probably thinking, again, I think the comp's going to be way closer this year. That's why teams on the outers, if they've got 14 wins or 3 wins, I think we just push everyone in. Or it's going to be very, very mucky around that 12, 13, 14 win mark. So, yeah, I'll go with you. I'll go the over initially.
Look, I wrote down I can see them winning 5 games. If they get Bolter back and playing every week, not doing weird shit, and Gibcus as well, if they trot out a back line of Ben Miller and Bolter, Vlosten and Broad, Gibcus and Sam Banks, and they've got a couple other guys down there, and they just get a solid back 6 that plays every week. They might have enough young talent ahead of the ball, like they did against Carlton. They just let their young talent take over ahead of the ball to win the game. I can easily see them winning 5. So I'm going over 4.5. I was bang on wrong on them last year. I don't want to be wrong again. I'm not tipping the under. I want to be on the side. But this is what I'm saying. How is that 5? How many years is that 5 going to take to turn into 10 to then turn into playing prelims again while you lose Tom Lynch and you might lose Nank and you might lose Vlosten, you might lose Broad, you might lose this guy and you're like, are they going to find enough guys? So anyway, that's my only thing. But I don't have to worry about this next year. I'm just worried about this year, and they'll go over 4.5.
Four's a bad. Like, I can see him being stuck on 4 for a while, and you're just like, fucking get one. 4.5's a good line. It's a fun line. Yeah, I'll take the over.
No one gets better treated than Geelong. Richmond's last game again is Geelong at GMHBA, the exact same game Geelong played at the end of last year. Why can't Geelong fucking go to the Gabba last round of the year or something? Or go to Adelaide Oval? It does my head in. Why do they always finish at GMHBA? It's like their last 7 games are at GM. I haven't looked at their schedule, but I just saw Richmond finish there again. I'm like, why do they get kissed on the dick every year? Send them to West Coast last round of the year. Send them to Freo. Send them to Adelaide Oval. Give them to GWS. Stop letting them finish against shit sides. I'm not saying Richmond shit. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think it's a fun one. I think 4.5 is a fun one. Big crowds. Yeah, we'll take the over.
So the best bet, it's so hard. Like when we did Richmond last year, we had no idea what to do. So I'm going to go Richmond over 4.5, Taj Houghton to win the Rising Star. So straight away, that should pay about 50 to 1 or a bit, about 40 to 1. So then do we want to add, it can either be Sam Laylor to make All-Australian, or because you can't bet on him to make the squad, or do we take John DeFall and Harry Armstrong to combine for 50 goals? That's not happening.
Why don't you go Tom Lynch and then a young one?
Tom Lynch and Fuol to combine for... What's Tom Lynch going to... I don't even know what he kicked last year. I'll have a quick look what he averages per game. What? Yeah, anything else?
I reckon, again, we went zipping 18 on these last year, so I'd love to keep him like 3-4 legs. Just try and hit a couple.
So last year he played 16 games. He kicked 26 goals. Let's... fuck. He averaged 1.6 goals a game.
Go 50 goals.
Fuol to average 1 goal a game. It's got to be 50 goals. Lynch and Fuol to kick 50 goals. That should pay 50 to 1. The over and Lynch and Fuol to kick 50, and then a Taj Houghton to win Rising Star.
Yep. Or I reckon it'll pay more. I reckon that'll pay more.
I wonder if we can go a Richmond player to win Rising Star.
Well, what's more likely, you think? That Richmond multi gets up, or Sam Darcy kicks 100 goals?
Sam Darcy kicks 100 goals.
Exactly. So it's got to be way over $67.
Yeah, I'm just... Or do you reckon PointsBet will go a Richmond player to win Rising Star? Sam Grill, Sam Cumming, Taj Houghton, some 100%. Of these guys. Maybe we'll try and do that. We still haven't spoken to PointsBet about this. We'll try and do that. A Richmond player to win Rising Star, over 4.5, Fuol and Lynch to combine for 50 goals. That's a good bet. If I'm a Tigers supporter, I am riding that for sure. Anything else you want to say on Richmond just quickly? Last word?
No, I'm excited. I'm excited to watch Taj Houghton. I'm excited to watch... We went to a couple of Richmond games last year, so... No, it was exciting. They got absolutely belted the back end of the year against Geelong when we went there, when Jev was just kicking bags. But look, I think all those Richmond boys were ready to walk off the ground and have a few beers. Like, Boston was just pissing himself. Yeah. Like, they were walking off. Like, if they lost, they just sort of laugh. They're like, fuck, it is what it is. Like a local footy club.
They have fun with it.
What are you prepared to lose today? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.